last week, like almost all at the same time, like one after the other, we all got these pretty exciting trailers for these huge movies, these huge comic book movies coming out next year, summer 2012. We had the Avengers, the Amazing Spider-Man, and The Dark Knight Rises, of course. And like, yeah, they all came out like pretty much the same week, these little teaser trailers that, of course, everyone's talking about online and causing big excitement and all the Comic-Con stuff, like all like a melting pot, like causing huge excitement and hype for movies that aren't out for like another year. But well, yeah, I just thought I'd offer some of my own thoughts on the upcoming movies and then the trailers that I saw. So I guess I'll start with the Avengers. They had that one. They had that trailer. It came out at the end of Captain America. At the very end, it's like a teaser trailer. It's like an Easter egg, but it is available online, like a crappy bootleg version if you can find that, which I'm sure you can. But yeah, like not much to say about it. It really is just like a really kind of standard teaser trailer. It shows a bunch of shots from the movie and shows you that all the characters are going to be there, like, you know, like Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Hawkeye, and Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D., of course, and all the others, and it's going to be, you know, a huge, big, proper crossover comic book movie, which is really exciting because we haven't really seen that before, at least like not on the scale that they're doing it, which is really cool. It's really cool how like Marvel Studios has kind of really gotten their shit together with this, because you know, if you read comic books as a kid and you watched cartoons too, and you'd see these characters like from other franchises like meet each other up and have their own adventures and stuff, but we never see that in actual big event movies because, you know, copyright issues and stuff, which kind of sucks. But now they've got their shit together, so we're gonna see all these characters in one big movie, and it's really cool. And it's cool that they have the whole continuity going, because like even the individual movies, they kind of interconnect. So you have like S.H.I.E.L.D., like the S.H.I.E.L.D. organization, kind of, and Nick Fury, like who shows up in all the movies pretty much. He kind of like connecting everything together. So like Iron Man would connect with Hulk, would connect with Captain America, and all leading up to the Avengers, which we'll see next year. So it's really cool, like especially like when you think about how they all kind of reference each other and connect in some ways, but they do stand alone as their own. Like I know with Iron Man 2 last year, it kind of like pissed a lot of people off how they really focused on like the whole S.H.I.E.L.D., or no, the whole Avengers project portion of it. But I don't know, I thought the movie was fine on its own, but people are entitled to their opinions about that, and I can see why it may have distracted from the overall story. But anyway, it's kind of cool because like if you like read comic books, because they are all connected in some way or another, because you may be reading one and you'll see in like the top panel it says like a character will talk about a certain story that happened. It's like, oh, this is almost as bad as a disaster as blah blah blah, and then you'll see in the top panel it says, to read the full story on this, consult issue Amazing Spider-Man number blah blah blah. So I think that's kind of cool. So everything's connecting together. You don't have to watch them all, but if you're a big nerd, I'm sure you'll watch them all anyway. So it's cool. I think that's cool. And the trailer just did its job, saying, hey, it's on its way. So not really much to say from that. And it's going to be really cool to see like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. interacting as their characters, and they're keeping the continuity of that. So that's really cool. And it should be cool to see Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. I mean, people didn't really like Ang Lee's the Hulk with Eric Bana, and Edward Norton's the Hulk. A lot of people are kind of like upset that Norton really got the shaft. Like they kind of just kicked him out, probably because he wanted too much money. But Ruffalo's really cool. He's a great actor. He's one of the best actors working right now, I think. So he should do a good job, and I'm sure everyone will be happy with Jeremy Renner playing Hawkeye. And if Scarlett Johansson's back and in that tight outfit, all the better. And Samuel Jackson, if he just, okay, this is Joss Whedon, so maybe he'll say motherfucker. Maybe he'll drop an F-bomb. Never know. I look forward to that. But anyway, the other trailer was The Amazing Spider-Man. So this is the complete reboot of the whole Spider-Man series. We had Sam Raimi's series, which was good. It was an okay series, but it did have its problems. Like the first one, it was pretty good. It told the origin story really well, in my opinion. So You know, everything you needed to know about Peter Parker, Spider-Man, it was in that movie. He had, you know, his getting bitten and his huge mistake that he made letting the robber get away and killing Uncle Ben, and his whole conflict there, and that was really good. But then, like, I thought other parts of it were a little cheesy, and like especially Green Goblin. I love Willem Dafoe. I think he was just like born to play a villain, and in particular Green Goblin and Norman Osborn, because he has just such a menacing voice, and he has like a goblin-y face, like it's like weird like mouth like this. So I don't know. So he did the best with what he had to work with, but unfortunately, like the suit was just so stupid. It looked like a Power Rangers villain almost. Like they really dropped the ball on that, and you know there were cheesy elements. Like, because I mean, comic book movies, they are essentially for kids, even though people, very sad people in their 20s like me, really like them and obsess over them. But you know, it was at least kid friendly. It wasn't like super dark or anything, so you could, you know, it was kind of like a whole family thing. The whole family could enjoy it. But even for that, it was a little bit cheesy and melodramatic. But I thought the second one was great, and that really was like the high point of Raimi's series. But then third one was just the worst. Third one, let's not even talk about the third one. Let's just move on. But anyway, we have the reboot, and so, you know, it's a little kind of like you feel almost tired watching the trailer. It's like, really, they're really going to go through the same stuff again. He's really going to get bitten by the spider again. We're probably going to see Uncle Ben die again, and I just can't handle that. And like, you know, they're following the comics a little better. So we have Gwen Stacy as his first girlfriend. So, you know, maybe in this one or maybe in the next one, the whole thing with her is going to happen, her big dramatic death. And they do touch upon his parents a little bit closer. Like, they actually acknowledge and show the parents, which is interesting because they did not in Raimi's movies. And a lot of people are kind of speculating, even this early, that maybe, you know, they're going to do the whole plot line with his parents connected to S.H.I.E.L.D., working as agents for S.H.I.E.L.D. and getting killed that way. And that may make sense with the whole grand continuity with Marvel, with what they're doing. So that may be interesting. And it should be interesting to see Dennis Leary as we're drawing a blank here, as Captain Stacy. And so I can already tell there's like going to be like a kind of a really dramatic story there. And Rhys Ifans, who's a great actor, as Dr. Connors, the Lizard. So that should be cool. I mean, at least they're not backtracking with villains, at least yet. I'm sure we'll see, since Goblin is the most popular, we'll probably see him a little later. But I don't know. I mean, it just looks like they're telling the whole story over again, and it's going to probably be a little darker, a little more serious, follow the comics a little closer, which is fine, but, you know, at the same time, I wish they'd just go for something completely different instead of just selling us the same story over again, which is, you know, a little tedious. I mean, for a lot of people, like, the first Spider-Man, the 2002 Spider-Man, that feels like it was made, like, last Thursday, so, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if it's any good. And I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, what's his name? Andrew Garfield. He's probably going to be a really good Spider-Man. I mean, I thought Tobey was great, like playing like the kind of wholesome, all-American, nerdy kind of guy, and so that was he played in his role. He really, you know, played it perfectly. But again, the movie's going to be a little different, so the Spider-Man's going to be a little different. And I think what sold me and what sold a lot of people was just this video that popped up the other day from Comic-Con, where Andrew Garfield comes in dressed in this Spider-Man suit, this cheesy Spider-Man suit, and he's like holding this paper, gonna ask questions, and he's all really nervous, like, oh, I'm so happy to be here. Then he takes off the mask, and it's him. It's Andrew Garfield, and he gives this huge, heartfelt speech about Spider-Man and how much it meant to him, and how like it affected his life, and like so anybody who's ever been a kid and read the comics, they're gonna respond to that and think, wow, this guy really loves Spider-Man, so I think he's a great choice. So I'm going to try and put a link in and put it somewhere. If I can't find it, maybe you've already seen it. But, yeah, anyway, should be okay. But, the one I'm, like, most excited for, I have to admit, like, Avengers is cool, Spider-Man's cool, I don't know, that's fine. But the one I'm most excited for is The Dark Knight Rises. Oh my god. Oh my god. that teaser trailer, like, even though, like, it's barely any new footage, it's like stuff from the previous movies with the voiceovers of Ra's al Ghul talking about blah 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 blah. You know, you've seen the trailer, I'm sure. I'm sure anyone watching this probably hasn't seen it like 15, 20, 50, 100 times. Not that I have. But anyway, it's once it shows the new footage, it's really cool. Like you see Gordon, Lieutenant Gordon in the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Gordon now. In the hospital, and like he's like with the gas mask, and well, not gas mask, like oxygen mask, and he's like looks like he's like on death's bed, and he's having this like big dramatic speech. He's like, you know, the Batman must come back, and you see either Bruce Wayne. Well, you don't see Bruce Wayne or Batman. They're kind of talking in the background. You don't see who it is. So I'm thinking maybe he reveals a secret to him, or maybe Batman's there, or Bruce Wayne. I don't know. But he's like, Batman must come back. And he's like, what if he can't come? What if he can't come back? And he's like, he must. He must. It's so like dramatic and awesome. So like, and then they show the footage of Bane, and oh my god, I'm so excited for Bane. Bane isn't like the household name that the Joker is, or even Scarecrow. But those who know him know how ultimate a villain he is, and how perfect he is for this final entry into the series, because he's in many ways Batman's equal, and his most difficult opponent, because he kind of like built himself up, and he has his own drive to be what he wants to be, like kind of like what Batman is. So the Joker just kind of was like messing shit up just kind of for the fun with it, because that's the Joker's purpose. But Bane's purpose is to end Batman, not to have fun with him. He wants to end Batman, and he wants to take over as the one who rules Gotham. At least that's how it sort of is in the comics. And he's much more intelligent than, you know, he's given credit for, and he has this whole rich backstory and the whole Nightfall storyline. And I've always wanted to see him in a Batman movie, and when I finally heard that he actually was going to be in Batman, the Dark Knight Rises, I can't express how excited I was for that, because I know it's going to be great, and I know it's going to be really, really, it's going to be an intense movie. It's going to have some really intense fights, and if they even follow it, even like a smidgen close to what it was in Nightfall, it should be incredible. And judging by that shot alone, where you see like Batman going, and then like Bane's like rising over him, and like, oh man, it's so cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for it, and it'll finally wash out the bad taste of what Joel Schumacher did to Bane, who just made him as a henchman, this dead, big hulk of a brainless thing, like, oh god. But anyway, I mean, this is Nolan, and there's always the rule of threes. I mean, like, when has a third superhero movie been good? Like Superman 3, Spider-Man 3, Batman Forever, if you want to count that. But I like that. But, you know, I think that it does have potential to be the best one of the three. And I can't really say much now, so, like, I have to wait and see it, which I have to wait a whole year to see it, which is so much of a bummer. But that's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm geeking out over this, but I really can't wait to see it. That's just my general impression of what I've seen. Even though it just showed a little tiny bit, you can already tell that, like, they're building this up to be a real, like, ultimate final chapter in Batman's saga, or at least Nolan's Batman saga, which you don't see much. You always see, it's always really episodic, so we're finally going to see something final, and Bane is the perfect person to make it final, and I guess Catwoman's going to be in it too, but we haven't seen any footage of her, and, you know, we've seen pretty much just two little tiny pieces of, like, two scenes from the movie, which are probably only scenes that have been filmed so far, but, oh man. So summer 2012 is going to be huge. I mean, especially if you're a comic book fan and you love just seeing all these big screen adaptations of our childhood favorites, like Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Hulk, and Batman. So those are just some of my thoughts. I mean, I kind of just rambled on, but hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.